Let's say for this effect, I hand the deck over to the spectator, and they can give it a shuffle. After they're done shuffling the deck, they will hand it back to me, and I will go through the deck and take out a prediction. So I think I am going to take out this prediction card that is actually out of the deck. I'm going to go with this prediction card, and I can leave it in the box, but before we do that, I can just show you there's nothing in the box. Might be a little hard to see, but it's a totally empty box. So this prediction card can go in the box, we can close it up, and this can go next to the spectator. So after we have done that, I would hand the deck over to the spectator, and I would have them go ahead and start to deal cards like this. And whenever they would like, they can go ahead and actually shuffle the deck, and then they can deal groups of cards as well. They can deal groups from the top, the bottom, even the middle, and they can stop whenever they would like as well. So let's say they stop here, so the rest of the cards can go away. So with the pile the spectator actually dealt, they're going to pick it up and they're going to deal two piles just like this, all the way through. And I would explain to the spectator, they shuffled the deck and they could have dealt anywhere they wanted. So now we're going to have to make up a card. So in order to make up a card, we need a suit, so clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds, and we're going to need a value. So ace through king. Okay, so we have ace, then 2 through 10, then jack, queen, king. So I would ask the spectator, go ahead and point to one pile. Let's say they point to this pile. So I say, okay, just name either a suit or value. Let's say they name suit. I say, okay, let's see what we have here. In this case, we have the seven of hearts. So you pointed to this pile, you named suit. So since we have the seven of hearts, the suit is going to be a heart, meaning this pile you didn't point to is going to be the value. So in this case, the nine of clubs, so the value will be 9. So if we take hearts and 9 and we put them together, we have the 9 of hearts. Now, just keep in mind this really quick. You shuffle the deck, I made a prediction. You shuffle the deck even more. You dealt as many cards as you wanted. You shuffled and you even dealt groups of cards from the middle, the top, the bottom, and you stopped whenever you wanted. Then you dealt two piles like this. You pointed to this pile first. You could have pointed to this one, but with this one, you said suit. We got heart. In this case, this would leave us with a value 9. We put these together, the 9 of hearts. I would then have the spectator reach for the box. They can go ahead and they can open it up and they can see one card and one card only is the 9 of hearts. So, that is going to be today's effect. I hope you really enjoyed this. If you want to learn how to do this, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. So, if you checked out my last video, you will remember that I mentioned about a trick in there where you deal two piles, and then that would be the trick. This is actually that trick. So if you didn't check out my last video, and if you don't know what I mean, I will leave that down below. Because the last video was a really good trick, but there were more steps involved. The trick you saw is actually a trick I've seen quite a few times. Let's get straight into how to do this. In case you're wondering about the deck I am using, these are the Black Artisans, just like this. I actually have a review on these, so I will leave that down below. But without further ado, you're going to start off by handing the deck over to the spectator, and they can give these a shuffle. When they hand the deck back to you, you're going to do everything like this, okay? But I am going to actually expose it instead of just doing it like this. What you are going to do when you get the deck back is you're going to look at the top and the first and second card. In this case, these are the 10 of clubs and the 5 of spades. You're going to want to do the first card to be the value, the second card to be actually the suit, spade. So when you put these together, that is the 10 of spades. Now you could do it reversed, which I will show you at the end of the trick. And I will also show you one more thing you might actually run into, which isn't gonna be good, but you can get rid of it. So I will show you what I mean at the end. But for now, let's just say we look for the 10 of spades as the prediction. And the spectator isn't going to see any of this because the cards are going to be kept to yourself. So you can set that aside, and now you're all set. You can hand the deck over to the spectator if you trust them to follow your rules, and you're going to instruct them to start dealing the cards down like this, one on top of the other. And if you look, you will see those two cards you actually looked at the beginning actually went down first, okay? So I usually have them deal those first two cards, and then I might do 2 to 3 more cards. And then I explain that they can shuffle the deck, and they can also deal groups from the middle. They can shuffle, and they can deal groups from the bottom. And they can shuffle again and deal groups from the top. It doesn't matter. Once they're done, they're going to put the deck away. So now what we have here, you wouldn't show this to your spectator, but what we have here are the two cards on the bottom. So you're going to hand this to your spectator, and you're going to have them deal 2 piles, just like this. And you want to actually watch for which card gets dealt on which pile last. So in this case, this card gets dealt last on this pile, meaning this is actually the 10, your number card, meaning this is your 5 for your suit. So now you explain to your spectator that you're going to have to make up a card together. So in order to make up a card, we need a suit and a value. So all you're really going to be doing here is Magician's Choice. Okay, so you know this is suit and this is value. I'll keep these face up just so you can see how this works. Obviously, they would be face down. So you're going to ask your spectator to point to a pile, okay? Well, actually, let's go back. You're going to ask them would they like a suit first or a value. Doesn't matter what they name because of your wording. So in this case, let's say suit. So you say, okay, point to a pile. If you say pick or choose a pile, that isn't really going to work, and you're going to see how. So just by saying point to a pile, that could imply anything. So if they point to this pile, you say, okay, we're going to save this pile for last, and we're going to use this pile. And if they point to this pile, say, okay, we're going to use this pile that you pointed to. So as you can see, it doesn't really matter which one they point to. So for suit, if they point to this pile, say, okay, this will be your pile we're going to use next, and this is going to be my pile we're going to use first. Then if they point to this pile, you can say, okay, we're going to use this pile first for the suit. Okay, so that's really how it works out. So they point to the suit, and you can turn it over and say, okay, we have the five of spades. We just need a suit, in this case, a spade. Meaning for this pile, we're going to use the value. In this case, we have a 10 of clubs. So if we take the 10 and the spade, we put them together, we have the 10 of spades. And then you can go over the whole trick. The deck was shuffled, they could have dealt as much as they wanted. Uh, the magician actually made a prediction, and then you dealt two piles, and then we put together a card. If they turn over this card, they will see it is actually the 10 of spades. And that's how easy the trick actually is. But really quick, let's go over this. So we know that they pointed to the suit for this one, and the suit was here. But what if for value they point to this pile? You can say, okay, this will be your pile we're going to use next, and we're going to use the value on this pile. And then this is the 10, and this is the 5. And then you can go on with the trick by putting them together. You get the 10 of spades, and then the trick is that. Let's say they actually guess right for the suit or the value. So if they guess this for the suit, you can say, okay, we will use the spade. They guess this for the value, say, okay, we will use the 10. Then you'll put the other card together with it. That will make up the 10 of spades, and then you will be actually good. So that was actually the effect. Not too hard of a effect, actually. So now I'm going to teach you that one more time, and then I'm going to show you something that might occur. So let's say the deck is shuffled, and you take it back for a prediction. Well, let's say this time, instead of going with the top card for the value and the second card for the suit, let's say you do the second card as the value and the first card as the suit. So instead of the 10 of diamonds, it is the 3 of hearts. So go through and actually look for your 3 of hearts, take it out and put it aside. Now you can hand these over to your spectator. They can start dealing into one pile. Now they dealt those two cards first, and you want to keep in mind your first card is going to be second from the bottom. So after they dealt those first two cards, and they get two or three more cards, I explain. They can shuffle, and then they can deal groups of cards from the top. They can shuffle, and they can deal groups of cards from the middle. And then they can shuffle and deal groups of cards from the bottom. I think I did that reversed, but you get the point. After they're done, they can put the deck aside. So now you know instead of the bottom card, then the second card to make up your prediction, it's going to be the second to bottom card, then the last card. So when they go ahead and they actually deal these out, you want to watch for that second to last card, okay? So we go through like this. We know the second card goes here, and the last card goes here, meaning this is the 3, this is the heart. So 3 hearts. And then you can go straight into Magician's Choice, that we need a suit and a value, and whichever one they point to doesn't matter. So if you need, let's say they name value and they point to the 10, you say, okay, perfect. We will use that for later, and we will use the value for this one. Because you said point to a pile, and we need value. Okay, now of course you can do this different, but this is how I do it, and it always works. So in this case, we have the 3, and then you say, okay, this pile for the 10. and then the heart, and those become the 3 of hearts. Now, if you're nervous about your wording may not work, you can go ahead and make up the card yourself. So you can say, okay, I'm going to try to make up a card myself first, but I need for you to go ahead and point to one pile, and I'm going to try to guess whether the pile you point to is either going to be the suit or the value of the card. Now, we know we have the 3 of hearts, so if they point to this one, you can say, okay, I think this might be the 3, okay? Because you saw this one go down second, which you actually looked at as the first card. Then this one went down last, which was the first card, but you know you had a 3 and then a heart. So if they point to this one, say, okay, I think this is a heart. Put them together, the 3 of hearts, and right here is your 3 of hearts. So I hope that made sense, but it's actually not a hard trick. Okay, so if you're really nervous about your wording, you can probably do that, and I'm pretty sure that would be even more impressive. But now let's go over the last thing that may happen after the deck is shuffled. Let's say the deck is shuffled and you take it back and you notice that, okay, let's say right here, you notice we have this little setup here. So if we take the first card as the 2, do it like this. If we take the first card as the 2 right here, and this card as the spade, and we put them together, that is the 2 of spades. Well, you take this card away, now you only have one card and you don't have a 2. What do? Just give the deck a quick putt or a quick mix up, and it even worked the other way if you pause the video. You had a 5 of spades and a 2 of spades. You take the 5 and the spade, you put them together, the 5 of spades, take away the 5, now you just have the 2. That is no good either. But let's say you go ahead and you have, oh, where is it? Okay, let's do it this way. Say you have 2 number cards like these. Okay, this wouldn't work either because you have a 9 here and a spade. That's the 9 of spades. Take that away, you only have one card. Do it reversed. You have a 9 here and a club. You want the 9 of clubs. Well, then where's your second card? Okay, so if this occurs, just do the same thing. Either cut the deck or give it a little mix-up. But that was the effect for today. So, that was actually the trick. I hope you really enjoyed this. If you haven't had a chance yet to actually enter the 300 subscriber shout out, make sure you do now while you can. I only have one person that entered, and we are at, I think, 281 subscribers at the time of this recording. So we are getting up there. So if you haven't entered yet, make sure you do. I will leave that video down below. Since I am on spring break from my college for the next full week, if there is anything you would like to see on the channel, now is the time to let me know. So either put the name of what you want to see down below in the comments or leave a link. Or you could do both, which would help me too. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow with the next video. Bye.